Hey guys, today's episode of the Rad DudeCast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. They are the champions of that world. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They're talking about nuts, boys and girls. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Okay, this thing is nice. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer just for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code LAUGH button. That's LAUGHBUTTON. You should probably know how to spell that anyway, but use that code at manscaped.com and receive 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Now check out the episode.
I would get it going. I like what we're saying. I like being jiggly wiggly. The problem with me, and I bet a lot of other people are like this as well, is if I have to, like, I'm holding this microphone so tight so it doesn't get choppy, my whole entire body is taut because of that.
You can't, to hold something extraordinarily tight and keep your body loose is one of the world's rarest skills. That's how those only are found in Korean ping pong players, and that's why they're so lithe and tricky, you know, because
that's how they pick the best of the best in Korea.
Yeah, because they can grip that paddle like a steel vice, yet their legs have the looseness of a jelly casserole.
Oh, yeah, man. They're like ducks.
Yeah.
Koreans, you know, or these Korean not just Koreans. Ping pong players, these champion Korean ping pong. They're like ducks where above water, it's all stoicism. But then below water, you don't even see that there's the whole thing's working.
Now, that you bring up one of the great points of competitive ping pong, which I've said for the whole time. Don't show the audience behind the scenes. Get some sort of saran wrap type situation. I don't know what the technology would be, but I want water. Just put their up to their waist in water. I don't want to see their legs. I want to see the magic of a floating torso playing with these amazing forehand slammers.
Did you ever think for a second how many and I think you especially, how many things did you think I'm about to walk into whatever this is and they don't know it right now, but I'm going to be the greatest person who's ever done this?
Anthony, honestly, this is being 100% honest. I'm not going to give you I'm not going to give you a joke answer.
Yeah.
Most things I've ever done. Secretly in the back of my mind, I go, I'm going to do this. And probably I have to assume, I've never done it before, but I have to assume I'll be the best. And
I'm starting at the top.
Yeah. And it's such a letdown because you can never, I mean, rarely, I don't know, there's very few things in life you can not do ever and just come in at the top. But in my mind, I'm kind of like, I have this idea of myself. I have such low self-esteem, but such high confidence. It's a very strange combination.
Yeah, you do have that. That's very interesting. That's exactly what you have. High confidence, low self-esteem. I guess it's like one of the introvert, extrovert kind of deal. But yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the extroverted side. It's the action side of life where I'm so confident that I'll do anything. But the inside, I go, if they only knew me as a person, I am lower than shit. I'm lower than goddamn shit.
Well, do you think it's a matter of time? Because sometimes for me, it'll be like, I can keep this up, but if they stick around for 2 hours, the cracks are going to show.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. No, for me, it's just a constant guilt. I've never not felt guilty, and it has. I don't know what it is. Where I live. I will say, like, I live a pretty good life. Like, I'm on the up and up. You know, like in the past, I haven't always been, but I'm on the up and up, man. I'm not doing anything too terrible. But for whatever reason, my mind is convinced that I'm the worst person in the world. But that doesn't affect my mind thinking of like activities. Like it goes like, you're a piece of shit, but you're going to go into this axe throwing bar and probably be the world champion.
You're going to be the best piece of shit they've ever seen.
Yeah.
That is really interesting that you would think that you're one no good son of a bitch. But if there's one thing you do know, it's throwing an axe.
Yeah. I mean, literally in my mind, I was watching that movie Ford versus Ferrari with Matt Damon and Christian Bale. Great movie. A lot of anti-Italian sentiment in it.
Really?
I don't know if you've ever seen it, but they are basically just painting Enzo Ferrari to be he's the bad guy in that movie.
I do kind of, I mean, look, I love any movie where a real Italian shows up. Because whenever you get a real Italian, they're the good guy, but in a way that doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just like they're a drunk passerby who teaches you about love, you know, or the importance of wine, or they're like a flamboyant fashionista villain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Enzo Ferrari was he did pull a very real Italian move, which was Ferrari was bankrupt and he kind of courted Ford into trying to buy them. But really, he just did that so that he could get a better offer from Fiat. And then he told Ford, like, if you thought for 1 second I'd sell this beautiful company to you fat American fucking pigs, get the fuck out of my factory. And then Henry Ford.
He said that about America. Then he bought a company called Fiat, which is basically fat.
Yeah. And then Henry Ford, also a lunatic, the second goes, he said, what? Well, we're now entering the racing scene.
So at this point, Henry Ford, this is pre-presidency, I'm imagining, right?
So your understanding is that Gerald Ford is Henry Ford II, the owner of Ford Motor Company. Is
yeah, I am. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm finding this out in real time.
Yeah.
So the same Ford that we know to be the president, who now I'm so confused when it comes to Fords. That's Gerald Ford or that's Henry Ford?
Gerald Ford is the president. I don't think he has any relationship to the Ford Motor Company, but he might. I mean, it might. He had money, so he might.
I thought that's why they were like, we got to make this guy president. Look what he's doing with the assembly line. This guy is killing it, man. We got to put him in charge of the economy. I 100% thought that till 1 minute ago. These two Fords, they have any relation whatsoever?
They might. I don't know, but they're
not
two
Fords.
The one relationship they don't have is the one relationship they don't have is they were not the same person.
Well, sure. Okay. We don't know. We don't know that. No, that much. So not only are they not the same person, they're not even in the same Ford family.
Yeah. So
he might have been a Chevy man for all I know.
Yeah, he could have. Well, that would be odd. You know, you don't go into the Chevy dealership last name Ford. That's crazy. But
yeah, well, maybe he hated it so much that it wrecked with his life.
Yeah. So I'm watching this movie, which overall kind of boring. Like, it's okay. It's a good if you
What's
got
the name of the guy? Sorry, I'm going to cut you off a bunch here to ask you questions pertaining to what you're talking about.
Sure.
What's the name of the guy who's the Ford guy? Because I watched a documentary about him, but then I never watched Ford versus Ferrari, the movie.
Well, the Ford guy who owned Ford at the time was Henry Ford II.
Right. I mean the racer. Who's the racing American protagonist?
Well, the protagonist essentially is Matt Damon plays Carroll Shelby.
Shelby. That's it.
And Shelby designed all those Shelby Mustangs, and he was basically an engineer, but he couldn't race anymore because he had a bad kicker. He had a bad ticker.
Crazy heart condition.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He had it. So they were like, "You can't race anymore." And he's like, "Well, the only thing I had that brings me joy in life is racing." They're like, "Too bad." So he just built race cars, and then the guy who truly believed in was this British guy named Lee. I forget his last name, but so Lee is the driver, right? And so they're trying to compete with Ferrari at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which is a 24-hour race. And Anthony,
so it's 24. I'm gonna. Sorry, I have a lot of questions here. A lot of questions. A lot of them are probably not very important at all, but they mean something to me. Right. Is it 24 hours nonstop, or they get breaks?
There's two drivers, so it's 24 hours. Not. That's why it's like
a day guy and a night guy.
No, they do I think they do 4-hour shifts, 3-hour shifts, something like that. But that's why it's considered sort of like the true test of like an automobile company, because it's like it's crazy to make a car that can run for 24 hours at averaging 200 miles per hour is insane. You know, like that's why it's kind of like it's not that big of a deal as a race, but in the car ownership world, it's huge because it's that means you're the best. If you can make a car that can drive that fast for 24 hours, that's crazy, you know, but I'm watching this thing, Anthony. Now keep in mind, I can't even drive stick shift. And
really,
no, I can't drive. I mean, I can a little, I know how to, but I've never had enough practice or had a car to do it. So you
look like a guy who can't wait to tell you how they can drive stick shift.
I know. I got so much, you know how many people ask me to fix their car, in gas station parking lots with the tattoos and the hat. They're like, "Hey, can you come take a look under the hood?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take a look." And then I go,
looks good.
Yeah,
that's an engine.
Yeah. Check, my friend. This is
you got all the stuff, man. This good for you.
This thing's filled up. Anyway, I got to get going. But I can't even drive stick shift. And I was watching this movie, and without any irony in my brain, there's no recollection at the time. There's no realization at the time of how crazy I am. I'm watching this movie, and I go, I'd be the best driver at that because I never get tired. I never get tired.
That's true.
And I'm not afraid of dying. So
also
get me in one of those cars. And I was just convinced the whole movie, the hero, me and that hero would be best friends, and we'd be the best driving team in the history of the world. But I don't even know how to drive stick shift.
Well, I think that you learn that in an afternoon. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I think the part they're probably having difficulty finding in drivers is the part that you bring to the table. I don't think they're just like, man, if you don't know stick now, you're never going to learn it.
Right.
I think, it's a lot like the best, a lot of the times the best young female gymnasts are, and the densest ones because they have no fear of death. Yeah. This is why they're better when they're younger as well. So I think you would be fine. And from what I remember about Carroll Shelby, he was more of a sourpuss though. You're more of a upbeat guy. You know what I mean?
Oh no, he was kind of a sourpuss.
He's a cantankerous fella,
but the fun kind. Here's the thing about a Southern sourpuss: they're really fun. They are pretending to be. They like to be like, well, shit. This motherfucker trying to put a hair over my ass, and it's like, hey, come on, you're having fun, buddy. Talking like that, don't pretend you're angry.
Right. I think you bring up a good point here because it's how often do you get to use those folksy words?
Yeah,
and you can't use them without the anger. So you're happy to be angry because you get to use these goddamn lemonade front porch folksy words that they love. Well, I'll be 2 roosters short of a nickel on a hen's mouth if I don't tell you.
Yeah,
you love that. Come on, that's locked and loaded, and you're waiting for the chance.
If these goddamn Itals think they're gonna stir some shit in my lemonade, they got another thing coming, and it's man, you're having a blast.
Dream. Yeah. What a dream for you if you're Carroll Shelby. You've been a Southerner your whole life. You get to go to Italy. You get to see Italians for who you thought they were in your head, and you just get to be mad at them. Man, you've been doing that in your home state. You've been doing that in Kentucky.
Yeah, man, and I don't know. It was good. Christian Bale, Matt Damon, top actors. But I would say overall, just watch the movie if you don't have anything else to watch. It's one of those. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
It's
right,
fine.
right.
It'll do the job. It's a real Ocean's 17, you know? Like do it
Okay.
if you're not jammed up with if you don't got another movie on deck, go ahead and waste a couple hours, but it's not going to really hit your heartstrings the way it should.
Yeah, I'm excited. I would love the idea. The Ford versus and Toyota's not in the mix yet, right? They're not allowed.
Back then, I don't think so. So Toyota probably wasn't really racing yet. Would be my guess. I mean, because
Okay.
Toyota really, I think
'Cause that's a
Toyota.
durable car, man.
Toyota's a great car, but and Toyota's a pretty fast car too. I mean, the good one. It's funny, all the Toyota models that like we have here, like the Civic and the Accord and shit, they
Right.
make insanely fast versions of them and only sell them in Japan. And they're kind of like, fuck Americans. We'll get the top end shit. They can drive the fucking beater made out of
Right.
plastic.
So if you're somebody, so say you're like you're a rapper, because rappers are always trying to like outdo themselves with like what they have on their cars. You could basically get a Camry, but a Japanese version of a Camry, bring it over here, and people would be like, "Wow, that's impressive."
Yeah, well, you would have it's not, they also have the regular Camrys, but you would have to get the like right version of it. They do make like fast as shit versions. And not only that, until a couple years ago, they didn't have Lexus. They had, because Toyota owns Lexus. They didn't have Lexus in Japan. They just had Toyotas with weird names. Like the Lexuses, they kept them branded as Toyota. So it was like the Toyota President, like the Toyota Presidential, like shit like that. And it was what we would call a Lexus here.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I like that more because my take on this, and I know nothing, but my take on this is that they fool you into thinking you're getting, you know what I mean? Because they'll be like, this isn't a Mazda, whatever the high end models of the pedestrian car manufacturers are, like a Lexus or an Acura. You're still driving the normal car, right?
It's still a Nissan, dude. Don't fucking
right. They give it a fancier name and a glossier sort of commercial. I will say, now that we're on the subject of cars, and I'm so happy to bring this up. It's probably the only thing I've ever wanted to talk about in the past week. There's an Infiniti commercial that's out right now. I don't know if you've seen it. You probably haven't. And I'm sure people have seen it. It's registered as nothing for them. But it's an Infiniti commercial that's about defying the algorithm. And about if you buy this Infiniti, you're defying the algorithm. It's so crazy. And it makes me laugh so hard every time I see it. It's like a well-dressed black guy, and he's like walks by like a line at a restaurant. Everyone's like, just drones on their phone, and he's just walking and like, the algorithm doesn't decide who you are. You decide who the algorithm is. And then it's like, get this Infiniti, defeat the algorithm. It's so crazy. But then the car itself has nothing. The car itself is filled with technology.
Right. I love the world. And by the way, for those of you that are hearing an occasional crackle, as we discussed at the beginning, Anthony's mic stand is broke. Fucking deal with it. Get over it.
It's somewhere in the country.
Yeah, it's somewhere. It's founded. It's got a light. It's fun when you lose something, because you go, I mean, it sucks because you don't want to lose things. But on the other hand, you go, well, that thing's living its own life now, like, because it's plastic. It's not going to biodegrade. It's like that thing's got years ahead of it of going, who knows where, like. It'll probably,
hopefully Pixar picks up the tail. We get a real Woody Buzz situation here.
Yeah. Now, the advertising world has become the best. I mean, the worst, really, but the best in the way that they literally require no logic. They require no logic of their writers. They just go, what's hot right now? And somebody goes, people are getting pretty mad about the algorithm. And somebody goes, sell that goddamn Infiniti with that. And it's like, there's no logical connection between the two. And they're just like, awesome. It's like they're idiots, they're sheep, they'll love it.
Man, there's no correlation whatsoever. I was like waiting on the moment where I was like, oh, I guess like the interior of this car is like a doomsday bunker. Or like, it's like an untraceable IP address comes with the car. It had nothing to do with that. Incredible.
Yeah, the new Infinity only purchasable in Bitcoin on DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, man, you can only can buy this car with Dogecoin payment.
Yeah, it's so crazy. There were so many of those during the Super Bowl where it's like,
Yeah,
you guys have given up on any connection to the product, and it's humanity's fault as us being idiots.
sure.
Like, okay, just show us an emotional thing, and then at the end say Budweiser, and
Yeah,
we'll be like,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, Budweiser, cool.
Yeah, because we've railed on this before with that Johnny Depp Sauvage commercial.
Yeah.
But like Cologne makes I was because I always had these issues, and Cologne makes sense to me because it's like, well, how do you portray a smell? And it's
Right.
like, okay, I get that, but with a car, it's a tactile object.
Yeah. Well, that has like measurables. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, how many people fit in that thing? You're like, I get it. I'm against the algorithm too, but like, I got a kid. You know, what's the safety rating on this baby?
Does this thing have brakes, or is it just does it have an agenda?
Yeah. That was like there was so much shit during the Super Bowl this year that was just disgustingly like this is a moment where our country has been torn apart more than ever. Like,
this was the worst. They were playing upon a real thing.
Yeah, a real thing. They were playing on like Black Lives Matter and political dissent, and then it was just Bruce Springsteen in a cabin being like, the only thing that can help us now is a Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah, man. It's like, what, are you nuts?
Yeah.
Like how far down the rabbit hole do you go as a celebrity where you just go, I'm that guy now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're the guy I've been singing about for 20 years. I somehow became him. Right. It's like, how could you? You just became richer and more isolated.
Right. Yeah. No, I think what must happen is like you get older and you just realize like, well, the world is shit. Like the world is shit. And I got a family and I got grandkids. And so someone's putting a $30 million check on the table. Fuck them all. Like,
oh, sure.
You know, like you just become like, I don't care. Like I'm not you know how many goddamn songs I wrote trying to fix race relations? It did nothing. You know, it did nothing.
I was trying to do it with song, you know?
I
saw what they were doing on Capitol Hill with their bills and whatnot. But I was trying to do it with my poems, goddammit.
Yeah. He's like, Philadelphia, that thing didn't cure AIDS. I give up. I give up as a singer-songwriter.
Yeah, man. AIDS fell to poetry. Everybody knows that. AIDS saw the movie that they made about it, and they went, we concede. This was such a great performance, Tom Hanks.
Yeah. That's go ahead.
No, I had nothing. So I wanted to actually hear what you had said.
Man,
that's like, but then, I see. Momentum has shifted. You can't go back to that now. I totally get that.
I don't know what I had, but I'll tell you this much. I'll tell you what I had in Wichita. The world's most undefeatable heckler.
Really?
And yes.
Hecklers, the idea, because I haven't really, I did some New York spots like last week, but they're pretty behaved audiences. They were like bar shows, stuff like that. The idea of dealing, like at one point I got confident enough to like talk to a woman in the crowd. Yeah. And it was so like, the minute I started, I was like, oh, you're not in fighting shape to do this.
Right.
The idea of a heckler right now is, I'm almost like, how dare you? How could you, seeing where we're at as comedians? But they don't know that, and I get that.
Well, this was the breed of heckler that is nearly undefeatable, and that's a black man over the age of 55 who loves you. Because they're just every single joke. Tell it. You gotta tell it. And it's like, yeah, man, you don't understand when you yell out, tell it in the middle, it fucks the whole thing up. Or like,
man.
Just
and I am telling it.
Yeah, dude, I am telling it.
Been telling it. I will be telling more.
Yeah, halfway through the premise, just like, oh, this is gonna be good. Like, no, man, I love you. You gotta stop interrupting me. Like just positive interruptions for 45 minutes straight. Just at one point, just gets up, walks over right next to the stage, and just hugs the door guy. And it's
this guy
what?
sounds incredible.
It's like, you gotta wait, man. You gotta wait, Tug, because now everyone's looking at you because you're yelling the whole time, and you're a lot of fun. And now you're hugging the door guy. It's the middle of COVID, and you're hugging the door guy, and that could have waited till after.
Yeah, I guess it's across the board. People forgot how to act,
Yeah, well, but that's always been a thing. Like I think a thing comedy audiences don't sometimes realize is the hardest heckler is the positive heckler, and they don't think they're heckling. Like, because a negative heckler, they can either get kicked out or you can make fun of them. A positive heckler, it's like, hey man, I really appreciate your love for me, but you're fucking up every joke. Like, this thing relies heavily on timing. It's a timing-based art form.
Yeah. I guess I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'll always take a positive heckler over a negative one, because the positive one, I'm like, oh, I can play off that, and we can have like I can have fun with portraying what they're doing and making that seem appealing to the audience, but also make them understand that it is bothersome. A negative heckler, I'm like, oh man, here we go. We got to do this. It's like I have to put on. I have to get my weapon. I have to get my shield. I have to now be in a fight. I didn't want to be in a fight.
I just want to get to the level, because I'm tired. I'm tired of that. Like those, like, oh, it's got to be a comedic interaction. I want to get to the level of fame where I can just say, shut your fucking ugly face. Like, that's all, like, to a negative heckler. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to deal with comedically putting you down anymore. I want to say, shut up and get the fuck out of here right now.
Right. Because then people in the audience will go, man, Brendan, we know Brendan. Brendan's doing so well. We're grateful that he's here. So, like, if you're upsetting Brendan, that's an issue, because Brendan is something else that we're not.
Yeah.
But as we are now, they're just like, I'm coming into the show. I'm not going to respect this guy.
No, as we are now, it's like, well, we'll see who wins this duel. It's either the comedian we don't know or the drunk pipe fitter. I don't know who's funnier yet. I don't know either of them.
Yeah, man. His name may be in lights, but I've got a feeling old Hank over here is gonna do the trick for me tonight.
But I mean, it ended up being fun because I was like having fun with this old guy, but it was just like, man, dude, you are not understanding this. I'm trying to, like, as nicely as possible get this through to you, and you are just not understanding that this is brutal. Every joke.
I think it's that thing where it's like, my mom does this in her own she's not heckling, but she does this in life, where it's like, if you just have a cheerful, positive disposition, you just assume that you're infallible to wrongdoing. You know what I mean? So it's like my mom, if I'm like she'll just keep giving me blankets and pillows and things like that, where it's to the point where I'm like, you've made relaxing stressful. You know what I mean? Because you're doing a good thing. You're like, oh, I can't possibly be wrong. You know?
Right.
But it's the same goes for these like positive hecklers.
Yeah. And this guy was like the greatest guy. Like, first of all, he loved my act. Second of all, I was selling koozies and I was selling t-shirts, and he comes out after the show and he goes, I don't even need to look at him. Give me 2 of everything you got. It was just like,
it's also very funny. It's like, not that much stuff.
Yeah.
I'll give you everything I got. It's a shirt and a koozie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not a store, man. You know what I mean? You're not buying out Nordstrom's. But he was just like,
it's gonna be a light haul for you, man.
But yeah, man. I had so I did that. It felt good to be back. Like, I mean, I miss the baby so much. Like, that's a whole different matter, being on the road now that you have a kid. But like,
for sure.
So it felt kind of crazy to be back, like, hard on the road. I had Provo at the beginning of the month, then I had St. Louis, Tulsa, and then Wichita. It felt crazy. Like, it felt really good to just get that many hours in, like, under my belt. But I was going to talk, and this is a little serious, I think. It is. It's frustrating because like what I'm finding is I have like a good chunk of time for the next album. Like I have like
That's great.
that's the great part. The bad part is I don't have like the backbone. Like I don't have like an opener. I don't have like a super strong like middle piece, and I don't have a closer. It's like I need some like heavy hitters, and I'm just not writing those right now. I'm writing these like one-liners for whatever reason. And so it's like I got to figure out like I think it'll just come with time, but it's like
Yeah.
I gotta get back into that writing. Like I don't have any just like sure thing 100% like murderers, you know, that like that I think you need to make up an album. So we'll see. I think that's just time, you know. That's just writing time.
Yeah, and usually, like, I mean, at least I can't say an opener. It's always you know, an opener for years for me was always just talking about my face because I had to.
Right.
But an opener is like you just like feel it and you just go, okay, like that's just an opening joke, whatever that is. But
Right.
for a closer, I always feel like usually it's like a larger story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, but aside from like obviously the baby, but like nothing has happened to you in the past year to like really make a story out of it to have like this grand closer.
Well, and I think what will evolve is like I did, and thank God for Peter actually, because like I wasn't really working on the mental health stuff very much when I was out on the road because I was at loony bins and like that's not the crowd for that. But Peter was there one night, our Rad DudeCast fan, and I was just fucking around. It was the late show Friday, you know, or late show Friday. And I was like, what do you want to hear, Peter? I'm taking requests. Hit me. We got a VIP here. What do you want to hear? And he goes, tell the story of how you escaped from the psych ward. And I go, fuck. I wasn't going to get into that. So then I did that whole.
People must have thought when he said that in the crowd, they must have been like, oh, that guy's doing a funny heckle. Like he's going to, like, Brendan's about to rip into this guy. And they're just like, oh, wait.
No, I did do that. No. And so then I went into that chunk. And I do think that's what'll end up being the closer. I just gotta say, I gotta get it to a point where it's not just sort of like jokes. I gotta weave the narrative a little better, I think. Like, but hey, what's up, guys? It's Brendan. Sorry to interrupt the show, but I got to talk to you about a little company. I shouldn't say little. Manscaped. Okay, these guys are leading the charge when it comes to trimming your downstairs area. All right, this is primo stuff. I've been getting by on a beard trimmer for years, and it's just been a mess down there. You don't want to see it. They sent me the Lawnmower 4.0, and this thing is incredible. Okay, my groin beard looks like a gem. Okay, they could play Wimbledon on it. This thing is fantastic. It's sleek. It's well designed. It's optimized for the task. It's not like you're using some sort of thing that you could give yourself a fade with down on your balls. Okay, this is what it's for. It's got multiple functions, an on-off switch. You can engage a travel lock so it doesn't just turn itself on in the airport. I've had that happen with other trimmers. If you've been shaving with the same old nut trimmer that you use on your face, you're doing it wrong. Okay. So remember, get 20% off and free shipping with the code LAUGHBUTTON at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. And be sure to use the code LAUGHBUTTON. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
That seems to me, because I would imagine too, like that chunk of material has got to be hard to do stuff after it. So that seems to me that it would be the natural closer. And it's like, I mean, you can make that a whole thing if you wanted to, but if you wanted to isolate just that event, like that's compelling and joke rich enough where that could be the end of the show.
Yeah, I think that's what'll end up happening. Well, I mean, fuck it. We'll see. Who cares? Comedy's dead. I'm a TikTok guy.
Are you still doing TikTok videos?
Well, what happened was I put everything I had up there,
Right.
and then COVID was still on,
and then doing recipes.
and then I got like a million messages because at one point I put some of the mental health stuff up there,
Right.
and then so I put everything up there, and I got like tons of views, and then I stopped because that was everything I had on video that fit under a minute, and then I got a million messages asking if I killed myself.
Have you tried that as a joke? That's really funny.
No, I should try that.
That's really, really funny.
But now that I'm back out on the road, I have some new stuff to put up there. So I'm back, and I'm gonna get a better camera. I think it's just it's such a crazy world. It's such a crazy, weird world that we live in. Like navigate.
Yeah, tell me about it, Ginsburg. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You have anything to go with that, or you're just gonna?
It's such a crazy, weird world. People are different colors.
Were you about to break in a song, or did you have?
No, I just mean, what I was gonna get at is like, here I am for years, like trying to figure this thing out, and then I do something I don't care about, which is TikTok, and I've gotten more eyes on my comedy by far than any television appearance, anything, and it's like, oh, so it's just nothing matters. Like, you just do whatever I want and it'll work out. Because the one thing when I wasn't trying, like, I have like 20 million views on there. Like, people were coming out knowing my jokes from TikTok.
Wow,
like,
that's pretty incredible.
And I want to be like, hey man, I've been on television. Like, I'm not just doing Chinese apps. You know what I mean? Like, been on NBC, motherfucker.
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, like, they're watching more of that than they are like late night shows.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So man, great. That's awesome, man. Good that you did it and have people coming out to shows because of that. That's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a better camera and just be a fucking TikTok guy. I don't care. Like, as long as I'm doing comedy, I don't want to like just do TikTok dances. I mean, I will.
I mean, I've never seen your TikTok, but I would imagine it's your bits. I don't think it's you doing dances.
No, not yet, but I'm running out, so I'm gonna have to get down on the dance craze. Oh, go ahead.
Do you just put up clips, or do you do the front facing sort of like TikTok-y stuff?
Man, that algorithm has got me nailed to the wall. Because I'll tell you this, I put out clips, and
if you get this infinity,
I'll put up clips, and like they, some do well, some don't do well, but they all do. Like, even the ones that do poorly will eventually get like 9,000 views or something.
Right.
I put up something of me just talking to the camera. 78 views. That thing, for whatever reason, the algorithm is like, nope, this guy is only for comedic fucking. This guy's only for comedic bits. If he starts talking to the camera, shut him down.
We don't want to know this guy. We don't want to know this guy. Yeah. What if you did that, but if you put the microphone, you know what I mean? Does it, just as an experiment, does it do anything if you're going to look like a crazy person, but if you do that with a microphone in your hand and then it looks like you're performing stand-up?
I might try that. Yeah, maybe I could get like a fake stage backdrop, really trick them, put in a laugh track. Yeah.
They'll never know. We've talked about this a bunch, but like, they'll never know, man. And you've got, I think, it's worth it, because otherwise you're going to have to like, wait, set up the camera. Like, that to me is a nightmare at a show.
Well, that's why I need a better camera, because then it's easier. But like, and that way I can use my power of my stand-up pole to espouse my real views. You know what I mean? Like, I'll get into it with my fake backdrop. Like, hey, how's everyone doing tonight? Now, let me talk about the geopolitical situation in the Middle East, okay? Because it has been bothering me, that's how I can really get into the meat of what I've been trying to get at.
We've all read your papers on the Gaza Strip, Brendan. We're all well versed in them. We all thank you for your Christmas presents.
That's what I call Israeli girls' pussy hair, the Gaza Strip. That's a horrible joke.
Hey man, look, man, you're a Midwestern road dog now, bro. Yeah, it had to be crazy. I can't, like, being it's just such a that life. Like I had to fly coming from, and it's just a flight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coming from Cincinnati to New York, I had to do like a stop. So like it was, it wasn't. I wasn't like in the air long. It was kind of choppy air, whatever. But just like I was anxious, and it was like, yeah, I just haven't had this feeling
Right.
in a long, I was just had this feeling 2 weekends, half of the month. I just felt like this. I was going to drop out of thin air.
Right.
So it was, I can't imagine the like going. It's got had to be so jarring to do the road like the way you were doing the road, and then come back home. And then when you come back home, you're not coming back home to the life you once knew when you did stand up that often. You're coming back home to a family.
Well, let me be honest with you. That was the big letdown because yes. I drove. As I said, I'm a big time. I could probably win Le Mans, but when I'm behind the wheel, my adrenaline does not allow me to get tired. So after my Saturday night shows, I just jumped in the car and drove 1,000 miles because 15 hours straight. I woke up at 7 a.m. Saturday morning, couldn't nap all day, and I was like trying to nap because I was like, I want to make this drive. And I'm safe. For the listeners to know, I'm safe. If I do get tired, I pull over. I'll get a hotel. But I just never got tired, and so I drove 15 hours straight home because I wanted to see my baby and my wife. And Anthony, I thought it was going to be, totally in my mind, I was like, this is going to be like one of those dad comes home from Afghanistan, surprises his daughter at a softball game. But it's like, no, it's a baby. Like it's like, she was just like, oh, this guy, like, well, I'm going to cry and shit while you hold me. So back to this, and it's like, there was no big, like, hey, welcome home, Dad. It was just like, oh, him. Like that guy who's just another guy that I've seen, like.
Was she really sad? I mean, because you were gone for what, like 3 weeks?
Yeah, she doesn't remember me.
Right. Did she cry when she saw you, or she was just kind of cool?
What happened was, it was like nighttime, like afternoon time. That's when she gets a little crabby anyway. Like most of her laughter,
the 3 o'clock wall, we all hit it, man.
Yeah, most of her laughter and stuff is morning time anyway. So it was like around the time where she's starting to get like surly anyway. So it was just kind of like nothing. It was just like very little recognition, and then just like crying. And then it was just like, and then I was like, this is how you thank me for putting food on the table. And I threw her, I threw no, I didn't throw her. But then today we had a great time. So it's good to be back.
Yeah, because Annabelle was Julia's sister's daughter.
Yeah.
She did not like. I had been gone long enough. She saw me again. It took her like 2 days for her to like me again. She liked me a lot.
Yeah, and and I mean, I don't.
So they gotta show her more clips, I guess.
Well, I talk to her every day. She heard my voice, but here's the thing. This is what I think. I don't think they recognize voices that good over the phone, because like one time,
I think so too. Yeah.
This is my theory. This is why I have that theory on that. Because one time I was babysitting Sean Donnelly's dog while he was doing Conan. And I was so excited, his dog Rickles. I was so excited to show Rickles Sean on Conan because I had my video camera out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I thought he was going to go nuts. Didn't even look at the TV. Didn't even budge. And Rickles goes crazy when he hears Sean. Didn't even give him.
You're talking about a dog and a baby, man.
I mean, Anthony, you know Annabelle. Dogs are smarter than babies. They are. They're mentally, they are pretty much at the same level, because dogs know how, they know, if you build a dog door, they know to get in and out of it. The babies don't understand shirts, like.
It's true, man. A dog knows a shirt. You're right.
Yeah. So, but I think the babies are running on the same like principle as dogs. Like they need unfiltered voices. Like they can't go with the phone. They don't connect so much.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, even when we are on the phone, because I'll try to give her, because what I do, my job basically, I give her a tour. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
I put her in my arms. She's front facing, and then I give her the lowdown of every single thing in her house.
That's
The
what
ins
I
and
do.
outs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. They call them Tony's tours, and she seems to get that's where we really connected. Like that's what she was like. She'll reach back, she'll touch my face to know that it's me, and she knows me as like, this is a guy that gives me my tours. And
Right.
I thought, I was like, I am embedded in this girl's brain because I've done so many tours. And then seeing her again for the first time, it was like we didn't even go on tour. Not a
Yeah.
one.
Not one tour. You guys went on 3 tours of Afghanistan together. She doesn't even know you.
You know how many facts that might
Yeah.
not be facts I've told her about their vacuum machine?
Yeah.
And she seems to just not register any of it.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting because I actually do the same thing, and I think that just means we are instinctually great fathers, me and you, because for whatever reason they don't know anything of what you're showing them, but they do love it. Like they love, like I take her around the whole house. I go and I announce the big facts. I go from the big facts to the small facts. Like I go, you are now entering the kitchen. This is the refrigerator. There's a picture of your sonogram. That's when you were very little. Like I take her through the whole thing, and she fucking loves that shit. And it's like, you don't know what I'm saying. You can't even look at anything, but you like a tour.
Yeah, I've had the best conversation about gender dynamics with Annabelle that I've ever had with anybody.
Yeah.
And then exactly. She's not gonna wake up and go, it's her first words aren't gonna be it's a spectrum.
Yeah. Can I say something that I think is controversial but shouldn't be?
Go ahead, man.
So somehow lumped into the debate about accepting transgendered people, somehow lumped into that, just on the side of whether you're good or bad, is should they be allowed to compete in women's sports? And I'm like, and that makes me so mad, because I'm like, no, I'm fully accepting, and anyone can be whatever they want, but that's cheating. That's not fair. Like, that's crazy. You were born a man. You have the muscles of a man. You're a woman now. I acknowledge that. But you just so happen to be a woman that's got cheating level sports skills. So no, you can't play in that league. Like, you can play in the men's league as a woman, but this seems crazy because your calf muscles are that of a man. So no, you can't be the 100-meter dash women's champion of Iowa. That's crazy. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is that
I go by the rule: if it didn't fly in Joanna, man, it doesn't fly here.
Yeah,
and that league was pretty pissed off when they found out who was under the skirt.
I mean,
what is the argument? I'm curious, actually, because that makes sense to me. I'm curious, what's the argument on the other side of that?
None. Just that they're women now, so they're women, so they can be. You're being transphobic. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm fully like, I'm trans loving, like I'm all for it. Yeah,
I'm translucent. I'm trans loving.
But I also love sports.
About my affection.
But I also love sports, and I think you people who are saying that's transphobic, I don't think you understand sports, because Caitlyn Jenner, for instance, yes, she's a woman, absolutely. Also, a 10-time Olympic gold medalist. Like, if she were younger, no, she can't compete with the women. That's not fair. No one would ever win. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not. It's not a fair system. It's like, so like, I'm for fairness above all.
Sure, you're a man of justice. You're a man of,
right? Like,
who was there was the runner, and it's not this. This was like a couple of years ago. I think she was like a long distance runner. She had some kind of Spanish name. I guess, Mike, if you could look it up. I don't know, but there was an issue with her. But this might be something else. But I think it might be along these lines.
Yeah, was that the one that was more borderline? She was like, I think, I don't know that they use this term anymore, but she was hermaphrodite, right?
Oh, that's what it was.
Was that what it was? Yeah, she was born with both genitalia, and that's a little more dicey, because, like, I don't know the medical facts on that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I know a lot of viewers probably were thinking Brendan knows the medical facts on that. I don't.
Yeah. I would say you might know a fact or two about. You've got just enough about everything.
That's how I've always wanted to be. I've always wanted to be a guy that I'll give you a tidbit about anything you could come up with. But you want a deep dive, look the other way, my friend, because I'm not the man.
Like if it's a dinner party with a bunch of hoity-toities, you got little foods on sticks. Yeah. You're moving and grooving between people, but you can't get hung up on anybody because at that you can't be found out. You have to be like a shark in the room.
Exactly. Nobody invite me to the debating stage. That's the thing. I will be quick at a dinner party to be like, hey, so that was an interesting thing I told you about Noam Chomsky. Anyway, got to go to the next guest. Don't want to be rude, lest you ask me a question further on Noam Chomsky.
Did I hear something about whales over there? I'll be right back. Yeah. So, Mike, what's the story here?
I'm not sure what the story is. I was trying, other than she's born with both, it seems.
Yeah, hermaphrodite. So,
but what were people took issue? Like the Olympics took issue with this, didn't they? For some reason.
I believe so. I'm checking right now.
Yeah, of course, Mike. Don't worry about it. At your leisure, man. You got to read and post. Man, I don't know that just the idea of it would make me want to throw up. So,
but do you know what I'm saying, Anthony? Like I feel a little bit like, hey man, I should be able to like defend the honor of sports without being labeled transphobic. Like I think that person should have all the equal opportunities in the world, but like sports have got to be fair, like that's just how it is. Like you're the equivalent of someone on steroids, like.
I agree. Well, and then I think about my body and it's like, well, that's not really great. So, but I do see what you're saying. You're born just with a higher level of testosterone, and that level of testosterone is helpful in certain sports, not all sports, but most sports.
Well, not just testosterone. I mean, you're born with a different muscle structure, like sure. you're born
and muscle.
So I mean, it would be the equivalent of like, you say like take like a Chris Bosch just 10 years ago decided to transition to a woman. It's like, fine, you could be a woman.
He's nice and lean.
Yeah, nice and lean. But it's like, and then he says,
maybe should be a woman.
And then him being like, all right, I'm going to play in the WNBA now. And it's like, well, that's not fair, man. You just got tits. Like what? That's it. Like, what do you, that's not a fair thing. But what's the deal, Mike?
So the controversy has to do with her having both X and Y chromosomes and elevated testosterone levels. So the rules have changed since she first started running in 2009 to now. The issue in 2019 was she's not allowed to run unless she takes testosterone lowering medication.
That's fair enough. I'm all for that. Go ahead and do that. If you really womanize yourself and take it, really cut yourself down, that's fine. So either testosterone lowering medication, or you got to wear a skirt. Yeah.
Ankle weights, wet socks, an itchy hat, maybe. Something which is also something that's debilitating to even the playing field.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm curious, man, because that one seems so cut and dry to me. And usually when something seems so cut and dry, right away another voice goes, well, here's the other side of it, and here's why it's wrong or whatever. So I would be curious to see what the other side of that argument is, just because that does seem pretty clear cut to me. But you're also a very convincing guy, so I don't know.
Right. And if you're a listener and
that feels right to me.
Don't tell us, because I'll feel bad. So just keep it to yourself. But
Brendan hates hermaphrodites.
No. I mean, I don't know. I think what it is, Anthony, I think it's that the people who are like saying, well, that's transphobic. I don't think they're sports people. I think I think they kind of think like, who cares? Like everyone's just out there having a good time. It's like, no, there's people who like there's women who worked their whole life to like try and get a college scholarship, and now they're competing against someone who is born a man, and it's like, and losing by 12 seconds, like,
So. And Serena Williams, I think, even came out and said something along the lines of, a couple years ago, she was like, if I was a male tennis player, I'd be like ranked 70th or something like that.
Right.
She gave a definitive answer. I think it upset a lot of people because a lot of people, would just like to believe and she may be the most dominant athlete in her field of sports of all time,
Right.
all things considered. But I think people wanted, like Serena can beat anyone. And I think she admitted, she was like, I would be the 50th ranked tennis player.
Yeah, I mean, there's just undeniable biological differences, and some of those go in favor of men, some of them go in favor of women. Like women are able to feed children, women are able to grow a baby in their belly. Like women, to me, seem to be make better decisions. But I.
Yeah, they're mainly better people, and then every now and again we could put a piece of furniture together.
Yeah,
really
yeah,
I even say we really don't do that well all that often.
But like if they were if I guess if it was a physical, if you were to argue like, oh, it's physically equal, then it's like, well, then why do we look down so hard on domestic abusers? You know what I mean? Like there's a reason we look down on them, and it's because they're beating the shit out of people that they're stronger than. Like nobody gives a shit when two gay guys fight each other, right. which happened on an episode of MTV's Addicted. Two meth heads that were addicts just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, everyone goes, that's a street fight that went indoor.
Yeah. That's a street fight between lovers, and it's sweet. It's sweet how it happens.
Yeah. People are like, I thought they were fucking. I didn't even know they did it. I thought they were doing it.
I wonder if you are in a gay relationship and you're both like tough, like fighting type guys, like what ground rules do you have to lay? Like
I think you got to be pretty up. Like I think whatever the conversation for an open relationship would be the same between two homosexual MMA fighters who are
right. Like it would have to be like, you can hit, but like no faces and like no kicks. Like we'll hit each other, but like, and 2 minutes. It goes 2 minutes, and then that's it. We go think about things.
Then we're off to dinner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Greg isn't here today.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, we forgot to say that. Yeah, Greg is not here. He's fine. He he couldn't make it today.
Yeah, he has the day off. And this is one of those rare A and B specials. There haven't been a ton of them.
Man, we've done 300. We've done, including the Patreon, probably around 500 episodes. This is probably the third time this has ever happened.
This is the rarest combo, really. These sell for high because these are like baseball cards. The rarest, not the best, aren't always the top sellers. You know what I mean? When in baseball cards, like, I got a Hank Aaron card. Too bad, there's 100 of them. Like I got this one Billy Ripken card that they only made 3.
Oh man, we all knew that Billy Ripken card, man.
Yeah.
That Cal card too. There was like something written on the bottom of his bat, right?
I think that was Billy Ripken. It said "fuck you" on the bottom of the bat. And then the one that's really worth something, because they made a lot of those by accident, so those are still worth some money, but there's one that's really worth a lot that there's very few of them, where they tried to fix it, and they fixed it so poorly that it just looks like whiteout on the card, and it's worth a ton of money because there's only like 4 of them. Baseball cards are weird.
Yeah, someone had told me, it might have been my mom, so it could be complete nonsense. But I thought someone told me that baseball cards, the worth of them had come back up.
Exploding. It exploded during COVID. Now here's the problem. Because I went through my brother and and no one knows why. They think it's because stimulus checks and just boredom of COVID, but the market has like exploded. Like it's huge, like record-breaking prices. Here's the problem. Now you were a big basketball guy, so you actually might, if you had some cards at home, you might want to go through them. But
but I was also, when I was younger, I was I was more of a baseball guy when I was younger, like younger. So I have a ton of baseball cards.
Here's the problem, and you probably then will have the same problem. I went through me and my brother's baseball cards. I didn't look at every single one, but I kind of tried to go through them. And what I found is when I was collecting baseball cards, which would have been the late 80s, mid to the mid 90s, that they called that the golden era of wax, and that was when baseball cards were at their biggest, and so they just made so much of everything that nothing is worth any money. Like none of it is worth any money. Like the shit that's going off the charts right now are like Mike Trout cards.
Later. So I see what you're saying. I get
it. A lot of later stuff, like Mike Trout rookie cards, LeBron rookie cards, Jordan cards are blowing back up.
Really?
Like stuff like that. There's but they're selling for like insane amounts.
Wow. Okay, I'll take a look. Oh yeah, that's that Fleer Billy Ripken. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Every pack you would open, you would be just scrambling for that thing.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, Mike just pulled up a picture. It's the Fleer Billy Ripken card, and someone, I don't think it was Billy Ripken, someone in the dugout fucked with him and wrote, I think it says fuck you or fuck off on the bottom of the bat. And somehow, what's it say?
Fuck face.
Oh, it says fuck face. And somehow the photographer didn't notice, Fleer didn't, nobody noticed, and it just got made. It just got put out there as a card.
How much is that worth now?
Hold on, Mike. It said that up top, I think. Can you zoom out? Did it say up top, or was that just? Oh, that's just a grading. Yeah, I don't know. Mike, where you found that? Did it have a price on it? But yeah, dude, there's like Luka Doncic, or however you pronounce his name. His cards are like insane, like certain cards of his. But like, there was like a Mike Trout rookie that went for like $800,000. There's a Michael Jordan rookie for like over $1 million. A LeBron,
I might have an old Jordan and an old Bird card.
Oh, you got to look at those, dude. You could, look through some of that shit. They could be worth a lot. Like everything.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to my mom's in a couple days. Maybe I'll take a look at all my old baseball cards.
Like I thought I was gonna be in luck because I had like I had like a Barry Bonds rookie and shit, but like it just turned out they were churning those things out during that era. It was like I looked it up. It was like $4 on eBay. It was like
because we bought them all because we got those Beckett magazines. That's like you would look at like a Roger Maris card and it would be like $1 million. So like, yeah, man, I don't know. These things are like $1 at the grocery store, man. I'm gonna take my chances here.
This Billy Ripken card is pretty cheap, actually. You can get an ungraded one for like $15 and a graded one for $60.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. Right.
So I used to this guy who just scum of the earth, because I was just a little boy. I would go every week with my paper route money to this place called Video Dugout. It was like straight out of Clerks. It was a video store / baseball card store. And it just so happened that every single week he had a perfect collection of 3 to 4 cards that were the exact amount of the money that I had brought into the store. Like every week he took me for all my money every week. And it was just like nothing. It's worth nothing.
What a bastard.
What a bastard. If I could only find him and his goddamn video store fucking baseball card collecting ass now. But I was kind of stoked when I saw that, when I read this article. Like, dude, it's getting so crazy. The fucking Wall Street's getting involved. They're like what do you call them? Private equity firms are like buying pieces of cards and like selling them to people, selling stock in a card to people, which is like
a venture capitalist firm might call me up and be like, I've heard you got a Tom Gugliotta.
Yeah. Which is like, that's the thing where you're like, guys, this is why the economy collapses. Okay. Like, stop this shit. Like, first of all, I didn't say anything when you started the NTFs, and that seems to be nonsense. I'm not upset about cryptocurrency, which as far as I can tell is nothing, but you've crossed the line now. You're selling people 1/100th of a Michael Jordan card. Like this, enough already.
Yeah. They're so bored. Those people, you know what I mean? They're nothing worse than a person who's bored and gets money. Understands the concept of money and is just bored out of their mind is the most dangerous person on earth.
There's because they sell. It's like the one thing, like now you can argue against capitalism and that there should be like no billionaires and that's not fair. And I get that argument. But the one thing I've always like respected about Warren Buffett is that he buys companies that he understands what they do. Like he buy like all of his companies, like generally they make something. You know what I mean? Like he's in some insurance, but insurance is a product. Like
Right.
that makes sense. Like, but like these Wall Street guys, they just sell you nothing. You know what I mean? Like they just will sell you nothing. Like they'll sell you. It's like, hey man, you want to buy the concept of a bird? And it's like, what? And it's like, don't worry about understanding it. It's shooting up big time. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'm in. And it's like, you guys make nothing. You know, like you create nothing. These NTFs are insane to me.
Yeah, and it seems like it's gonna not only, I mean, NFTs, but then Bitcoin seems like it's like almost old hat. Like that's like clearly going to be around. But now like NFT, because I first heard about it by way of the basketball world with NBA Top Shot, and I was like, this is so dumb. But it's been months since then, and it's only grown in popularity. I feel like I did when I remember when I saw when I was a kid, and there was just like a couple things that I like predicted that were so off that I was like, I might not get things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I think I saw like NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys, and I went, "What a joke this is!"
Yeah.
And then they became like the two biggest bands ever. It's like that's how I feel about these cryptocurrency and like NFTs, where I'm just like, "Oh, this is so dumb," but it's like, no, this is probably going to replace money in 3 years or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's something that I just fundamentally, and I was an econ major, and there's something I just fundamentally don't understand about cryptocurrencies. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get how there's value in nothing. You know, that's what I don't understand. And like, I guess the argument could be made, well, like our money is not backed up by gold anymore. Like, so money is nothing, but it's like, well, yeah, we've all mutually agreed to give that value, you know, like for that to represent a system of trading. Like cryptocurrencies, it's nothing. Like it's not a thing. That's what I can't grasp it, you know, like.
Sure. I've been told a bunch of times about it by various comedians. And I've never been able to retain. Even in the moment, I'm like, you know what? In the moment, you're like, all right, I think I got this. And 5 minutes later, you're like, I don't remember anything. Like in the moment, I was aware of how much I didn't understand as they were putting in the simplest terms possible to try to convey it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing, man. So if anyone understands cryptocurrency, just send us some.
Yeah, man. Send us a Bitcoin.
Yeah, we'd love a piece of Bitcoin. Anyway, that's probably the end of it, huh?
That sounds about right, man. Yeah.
This is good. I missed Greg, but I enjoyed talking to you, man.
Yeah, no, it was nice. It was nice. I haven't had a chance to talk to you in a little bit, so this was nice.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for and you know, we should remind you, for those of you who may have been out of the loop or anything, this is the last month of the Rad DudeCast. You know, regularly. I'm sure we will be dropping little things here and there throughout the years. We're all still very good friends, so who knows? But the Patreon is going to remain open. And it is going to transfer over to Greg's new project. So we want to be very upfront about that. And I want to tell you, you are going to get your money's worth if you stay on board. Absolutely. I have no doubt about that. But I do want to make sure you know that, you know, if that is not something you're interested in, that this would be the month to unsubscribe. But I don't think you should. I think you're going to absolutely get your money's worth with Greg's project, but we all three agreed we don't want to be misleading anyone or anything like that. So just so you know, that's what's going on there, and we love you guys.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing. I'll just say that Greg and I made this pilot called Under 1,000 that is premiered on this streaming service called Topic. If you go to topic.com, you could just do a 7-day free trial and watch the pilot and then get out of Dodge. Or if you just liked the rest of the Topic programming, you know, you could keep a subscription. But yeah, tweet at them at Topic Stories and on their Instagram at Topic Stories. Let them know they got to pick this thing up.
Yeah, in all honesty, I mean that kind of stuff does make a difference. So even if you don't watch it, I would say watch it. I've been having trouble figuring out how to watch it, and I can't wait to watch it. But tweet at them really at Topic Stories and be like under 1,000 with Greg Stone and Anthony DeVito is amazing. Something like that.
Yeah.
It really that kind of stuff helps. So do that if you could. I'm gonna go hold my baby.
Man, that's great.
Yeah. I can't wait for you to meet her. You're gonna love her. And you got all this training with Annabelle. You're gonna give great tours.
I know. I'm glad I did because I feel like I'm gonna be so comfortable around Eliza, and I am excited.
Oh yeah, she's gonna love you. She loves the tour. She loves the tour.
I do a good tour, man.
Yeah. All right, I'll see you, man. Hey guys, that episode was brought to you by Manscaped, the world's leader in trimming your downstairs area. They just came out with the Lawnmower 4.0. That thing is amazing. Go to manscaped.com and use the promo code LAUGHBUTTON for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. That's manscaped.com, promo code LAUGHBUTTON. Check it out.
The Rad DudeCast is hosted by Anthony DeVito, Brendan Eyre, and Greg Stone. Original music by Brian Zippert. Produced by Mike Suarez. Executive producers Brendan Eyre, Greg Stone, and Anthony DeVito. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcasts.